Hi guys, welcome back to another Charlotte Tilbury video. If you're new here, my name is Larissa L and you are on my YouTube channel, Parker Kate. I am a freelance makeup artist and a Charlotte Tilbury junkie. So in today's video, which is actually my very last video of 2020, because it is New Year's Eve, I'm going to be reviewing and kind of battling the new Charlotte Tilbury Eyes of a Star Hollywood Flawless Filter palette against the Star Aurora Hollywood Flawless Filter palette by Charlotte Tilbury. This one released on, I think, December 29th online, and this one was released with the other Hollywood Flawless Filter palette in Diva Light, I think last week. I do have a video on both of these where I demo the Diva Lights palette, and I will link that below in case you were interested. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing another versus video. So it's going to be the Star Aura palette versus the Eyes of a Star palette from the Hollywood Flawless Filter collection by Charlotte Tilbury. Now, before we get into today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're going to support the channel, you can use one of the links below to purchase one of the palettes. It doesn't cost you any more money, and it's what helps keep our little family on here growing. So before we get into these swatches, the reason why she created these was because when she added 5 new shades to her Hollywood Flawless Filter, which is like a primer and a highlighter 2-in-1 product if you don't know about it, she also came out with the quads. And the quads are supposed to be almost like a light reflective, soft focus social media filter placed over your eyes to naturally enhance them with very minor sparkle and shimmer, but just enough to kind of give little hints of, hey, come look at me. Anyways, guys, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and first talk about the, what's it called? What's with these names anyways? Hollywood Flawless Filter Luxury Eye Quad in Eyes of a Star. Say that 5 times fast. So I have this on one of my eyes. Can you guess which one, or do they look really similar to you? You'll find out more in this video. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this for you. Okay, so that is what the Eyes of a Star looks like swatched. Now, there are no mattes in this palette, and instead of getting a pop shade, you are getting a defined shade. I'm pretty sure it's like that with all the palettes in the Hollywood Flawless Filter collection, but that's how it swatches. Very light, but pigmented, smooth, buttery, creamy, really nice to apply. You can build up the pigmentation. This one's a little bit more pigmented than the Star of Aurora, and I'll show you that in just a second. But again, the only difference between this type of formula versus her regular luxury palette formula is it's just a little bit softer and a little bit less pigmented, but you can build it up if you apply the eyeshadows wet, and there are no mattes in this palette whatsoever. Everything's almost got like this very soft, subtle glisten to it. Now I'm going to swatch the Star Aura or Star Aurora on this hand. So this is what the Star Aura or Star Aurora looks like. I'm just going to put both of them side by side. So Star Aurora versus Eyes of a Star. So the Star Aura palette, it's rose goldy, it's glistening, it's champagne-y, it's got that beautiful taupe, which I'm like in love with. And then the Eyes of a Star is very beautiful. It's bronze, it's chocolatey. It's just a beautiful everyday type of palette. So I'm going to go in now, and I'm first going to use the Star Aurora palette. I'm going to put the Star Aurora palette on this eye. So this one is more of like a champagne rose gold. It's a lot lighter. So I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush. Actually, I'm going to zoom you guys in just a little bit. Okay. The big prime shade right here. And I'm going to apply this all over my eyelid and underneath my brow. Now I'm going to be applying this the way Charlotte Tilbury wants you to apply it, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. And then I might do another video where I apply these kind of my own way, so we will see how that goes. Then I'm going to bring it into the inner corner as well. So I'm just applying it to the whole eyelid, up into the brow, and then the inner corner to really open up that eye. Then I'm going to go in with the number 2 shade, same brush, and I'm just going to apply this all over the eyelid. I'm going to go in with this smaller brush. So again, I'm going to go into the number 3, the third darkest. And I'm just going to be applying this in the crease. I'm just going to go into this shade, the defined shade, with a tiny brush and use this on my upper and lower lash lines. And I'm just going to bring it under the lower lash line as well. Okay, so that is what the Star Aurora looks like. And then I'm going to put the Eyes of a Star on this eye so you can kind of see it without eyeliner or mascara, because I just want to kind of give you the difference. I'm actually going to put this brush over here so I'm not cross-contaminating my brushes. Now on this eye, I'm going to go in with the brand new palette, the Eyes of a Star palette in this eye. So first I'm going to go in with that #1 shade. So this one has a lot more vanilla in it. That's what it looks like. And I'm just going to spread this all over the eye again like I did the first shade, so the prime shade, so in the inner corner out and then up to the eyebrow. I'm going to use the same brush and go in with that bronzy orangey coppery shade. All over the lid. I'm just going to keep this one on the lid and then into the crease. So that's a nice light bronzy shade. It's got a little bit more pigment than what I was expecting, so that's nice. There's really no fallout with that, so that's what that one looks like. So yep, so I'm going to go in with this shade right here, this kind of chocolate brown as the smoke shade. And I'm just going to pop that into the crease. And I just dug it back into that #4 shade. I'm just going to start building up that outer corner. And then I want to bring it down to the lower lash line. It's a lot lighter, but you can build it up, which is nice, but I kind of want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to go in and kind of intensify it and then really smoke out that shade. Alright, so as you can see on this eye, I have the Eyes of a Star palette, the new one, and then on this one I have the other new one, which is the Star Aurora. This one is a lot more like bronze and goldy, where this one is a lot more champagne-y and rose gold. I think I'm kind of leaning more towards the Star of Aurora palette, even though I know in pictures it can look really flat. This is a really nice, pretty everyday one. Like, it's very subtle. It's not as glittery. It's a lot more matte. And this one is pretty buildable because it's got a lot more darker shades that you can work with. This one is like nice and glowy, but I really like the dark brown in this one. So again, this one is the Star Aurora. Am I saying that right? Star Aura? Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Star Aurora or Star Aura, one of the two, on this eye, and then Eyes of a Star in this one. Now I'm going to go in quickly and apply some mascara. I'm going to use the Push Up Lashes, the Pillow Talk Mascara by Charlotte Tilbury. I'll link some videos I have on this below on how to apply it. Do not apply it the way the instructions tell you, because oh my god, guys, it doesn't work. The way I teach you how to apply it in my videos works, so I'll link that below in case you're interested, but I'll be right back. Okay guys, so now I have my Charlotte Tilbury mascara on. Again, Star Aura and then Eyes of a Star. Doesn't make a difference. Tell me which one you like in the comments down below. Now let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts on the new Eyes of a Star palette versus the Star Aurora palette. First up, let's start off with the Star Aura palette, which I have on this eye. Now, this one is very light and champagne-y and rose gold and just kind of really beautiful and soft and glowy. You do get pigment, but it's a very natural pigment, and I really love the smoky or the defined shade in this. I think it's really pretty and kind of suits the color story very well. I don't have this color story from Charlotte Tilbury or really anyone, and it's kind of really interesting that it's that unique. The only thing that bugs me about this palette is that it photographs flat. Like, when you are trying to take pictures of this or show this, it's so reflective that it's almost photographed like a green or like a gray, and I don't know why it does that, but I'll show you guys some close-ups like I did before. It's very beautiful once it's on the eye, just kind of in the pan, or some pictures that you may see online of early leaks of this kind of didn't make it look very nice, but god, it is so nice. I really love this one. Now, the Eyes of a Star was released on December 29th online, and again, that's what it looks like. So it's light, it's bronzy, it's coppery, it's more everyday, but like an elevated everyday. This one right here, I love this defined shade, and then this kind of metallic-y shade is like just perfect for the eye. Very easy to apply. Again, subtle, pigmented, easy to blend out. It has that new soft focus formulation that she has. But I was looking at this and it kind of almost looked identical to the Desert Haze palette. I'll throw a picture up over here. Now the Desert Haze palette is an all matte regular luxury eye palette, and it kind of just reminds me of that, but in a different formula, like with sparkles and shimmer. With that being said, it's also very similar to the bigger, brighter eyes in the regular eye quad. So that's the bigger, brighter eyes. And then that's the eyes, or star, what the heck is this called? That's the new one, the starry eyes one. And then it also is, again, very similar to another palette she released. This is the Super Nude Easy Eye Palette. I do have a video on this and I'll link it below. Now these are a velvet finish. They are not a matte finish, but they are a velvet soft finish. So very, very subtle sparkle. Like barely you can't even pick it up with your eyes. But beautiful, beautiful palette. And it just kind of reminded me a little bit of very similar shades in the Eyes of a Star palette. So with that being said, if you kind of own either Desert Haze, which I do have and can't find, that's why the picture was on the screen, Bigger Brighter Eyes, or the Super Nude palette, and you're not really in the market for kind of an everyday bronzy brown palette, you might want to go ahead and skip this. The reason why you might want to get this is because of the formula. This is a soft focus, elevated everyday kind of like of your brown tones that you'd be using, and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous, which is why I am recommending you go ahead and pick this up, because even though it's very everyday and you probably already have similar shades or colors to this, you don't have the formulation that this gives. It's like an everyday elevated smoky bronzy eye, and I'm kind of super into it right now. I said I had to choose a winner, and the winner obviously is going to be this one, the Star Aura palette. I just think it's beautiful and champagne-y and pink, and then you have that beautiful defined shade that just kind of grounds the look. Now these are not very glittery. They do have sparkle and shimmer in them, but they're very subtle. If you're somebody who doesn't like sparkle or shimmer, then I wouldn't really recommend you get that. I'd actually probably recommend you get the palette, the Charlotte Tilbury Easy Eye Palette instead. Again, it does have micro shimmer in it, but it's like a soft velvet matte and not 100% a matte, if that makes sense. I do have a video on this and I explain it way better in that video. I'll link that down below. But overall, I love this palette, and the Star Aura palette wins over the Eyes of a Star palette in my personal opinion. Anyways, guys, I am filming this on New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year, and if you don't see this till 2021, then again, Happy New Year. Alright guys, I will see you next year, if I haven't already. Alright, bye guys, thanks for watching.